Hey gang, it's Bryan from FXBilliards. Today I'm going to talk to you about a subject I don't think we ever covered before, but we're going to talk about pool cue cases. Now, a lot of you send me emails, text messages, comments, and you tell me you're about to buy a new pool cue. You want to know what you should get. Should I get this one or that one? Should I get a soft tip or a hard tip? Well, whatever you end up with needs to go in a case. So I'm going to give you some information about different types of cases, the upsides, the downsides, all of that stuff. Over the years, I've had every type of pool cue case, so I can tell you the pluses and minuses of each one. Every case we have out here is a Predator case, but regardless of what brand you get, all of these things are going to apply. Now, I love Predator cases, and Predator sponsors my channel, so obviously I have a lot of Predator equipment, but they make some really good looking and very functional and durable cases. Some of the Predator cases that I have around here, no joke, I've had for close to 20 years, and they look like they're in pretty good shape. Now, I don't abuse my equipment, but there's something to be said for a good quality case over the years. So let's look at some of the ups and downs of each type of case. The first thing you're going to ask yourself, the first question you should be asking yourself when it comes to your case is, how much are you going to spend? If you have a new $500 to $1,000 cue, don't put it in a piece of crap case. It could get damaged, it could get broken. If it doesn't have proper insulation, you may be affecting the wood or whatever materials yours is made out of. So get a quality case to go with your quality cue. The best cases on the planet are only in the $200 range, unless you're going to spend something that is just extraordinary for some special leathers and stuff like that. But in this dollar range, this is about where the quality really kicks in. If you get 2 or 3 times beyond this, now you're talking about aesthetics and maybe exotic materials. So expect to pay somewhere between $100 and $250 for a really good quality case that you're going to be proud of and that's going to protect your equipment. The next thing you want to ask yourself is, do I want a soft case, which is what these two are, or a hard case like this one? They both have their advantages and disadvantages. Advantage number one of the harder case is, if your case somehow landed in the middle of the street and a nun came down the street in her new Range Rover and ran over the case, your case is probably going to be destroyed along with your cues if you have a soft case. But with a hard case, you're more likely to have everything in there survive the incident. This actually happens. Now, I don't know any nuns and Range Rovers running over cues, but everything is possible. Now, the other upside of the harder case is you can stand it up in most cases. Now, one of the things I like to do is stand my cue case up, put my cues together, and then slide them in the case, and I pretty much have a cue holder at that point. You put this up against a wall or lean it against a table, and you've got your cues in one spot being held up. A lot of people don't know about that. They don't think about it, but that is something else you can use your case for, especially cases that will stand on their own. The downside of the harder cases is some of them are more expensive. Another downside of the harder cases is the harder case is going to be heavier because the materials are heavier. So if you're carrying your case around for a long period of time, let's say you're going to the expo or you're going somewhere where you're going to be carrying your cues a lot, then the harder case is going to take its toll on you over time because you'll be carrying whatever you have in that case for an extended period of time with the heavier weight. Now, that brings us to the plus side of the softer cases. One of the advantages of the softer cases is, number one, of course, it's lighter. Number two, it usually holds more stuff. These two cases are relatively the same size, but outside of the number of cues that go in, which we're going to talk about in a second, these two do not hold an equivalent amount of stuff. Even though they both hold the same amount of cues, this one just has more storage space because it's more flexible. Everything that you're going to carry outside of your cues needs to fit in this compartment with this bag. So with the softer case, you can get a little bit more creative about what you carry, how much stuff you carry, and things like that. The softer case, I'm not going to go into all the little compartments with all these cases, but you can see that this soft case has the outside compartment, but the inside compartment, because it's soft, you can get some extra things in here that gives it a little bit more flexibility. And if you look inside, this will hold 4 butts and 6 shafts, which brings me to the next thing. How much stuff do you need to carry, and how much do you want to carry? Some people use all of the space allotted to them, whether it's in their home, their car, or in their pool cue case. This one is really cool. Leave it to Predator. You've got all of this area. Inside, you can hold 3 butts and I believe 5 shafts, 5 shafts in here, okay? Takes up a little bit more space, but I can get a lot more things in here because of this outside compartment, which is a unique feature that I don't see on a lot of other cue cases. But this thing expands and you can lock it down to make it a little bit smaller so that you're not flapping around with all this extra space. This is one of the best made cue cases I've ever seen. And like I said, I'm currently rolling with this one. I did roll with this one prior, and my next one is probably going to be the black and white, but I just change them up for variety. And my sponsor sends them to me, and in full disclosure, Predator did send me each one of these cases over a period of time. I've really got a lot of use out of this one. Again, I do like this one very much, and this is the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, hit that little bell or you're missing some videos. So hit the bell, hit the subscribe button. We're going to be breaking 100,000 subscribers over the next few months. I hope you will be one of them. Talk to you soon.